What's up, you guys? Adam here with Anabolic Climbing, and today I am haunted by a quote from Tom Randall, and it just scratched an itch in my brain, and we're going to go a little bit hypothetical. We're going to have a little bit of fun. So if you want to join rock climbing's favorite mad scientist and the general of chemical warfare, let's hop into it and see what Mr. Tom Randall, one of the gods of crack climbing, maybe one of the most prolific off-width climbers of all time, along with his buddy, Pete Whitaker, has to say.
Massive fists give a massive advantage. Everyone knows that Pete has massive fists, and I think that gives him an unfair advantage when it comes to crack climbing. So what I'm going to do is take a big pile of crack gloves, I'm going to add them one layer at a time and make a Pete Whitaker sized fist.
Nah, let's not do that. Instead, let's just pin all the drugs, get ourselves as much acromegaly as possible, and you know, in the same way that Levan Saganashvili left the world behind, we're going to do something similar. I'm not going to, you're not going to. All of this is hypothetical. We're just going to go over some folks that have acromegaly or have just absolutely sauced their face off and developed some of the most cartoonish hands in human history and give some hypothetical ideas as to what that would look like, what that would cost, and how deleterious that would be to your body. So, let's get into it. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. This stuff is hilarious to me. So, obviously, when we're talking about acromegaly, let's talk about the boy, Bigfoot Silva. No, we're not doing pop-up ads for CB2. So, if you guys don't know who Antonio Bigfoot Silva is, this guy was a prolific fighter in the UFC, prolific in Strikeforce, and this guy literally had acromegaly. He had I want to say a tumor that basically rocked his pituitary gland in overdrive, and that's why you start to see these enlarged features. I think he's like 6'9" or something. His hands are absolutely gigantic. His brow, you see sort of like cresting forward, nose huge, feet enormous. And that's because of the tumor placement, his pituitary gland was basically ramping his growth hormone the entire time that he's been alive. It's not like it's like the rest of us where it peaks during puberty and then sort of tampers down. Because he's been having full clip growth hormone for his entire life, bro's hands and feet just kept growing and growing along with his brow, along with his nose. And by the way, this is really, 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 really brutal when it comes to longevity. Elevated growth hormone leads to elevated IGF-1, which again helps with nutrient delivery, but also raises insulin resistance, is a high probability marker for diabetes, and in general, just ramped GH and IGF-1 signaling means you're almost certainly going to take years, if not decades, off your life when it's this severe. Acromegaly is nothing that you want. Not really, and nothing that is considered good or safe. But we're just going hypothetical here. We're just going to like full send it, right? So if I wanted to make myself like Bigfoot Silva, if I wanted to just take literally all the chemicals and give myself the biggest fist to make the century crack seem like maybe just like a hand jam, like our boy Jeff Dabe, you know, get some of those 14-inch mitts. Yeah, these guys are 14 inches, which is just BANANAS. That's about the size of a lot of climbers' biceps or potentially forearms. Again, these are things you could do with exogenous growth hormone. But what about guys that weren't born this way? Jeff was born and basically has had the shape most of his life. Bigfoot Silva, again, genetic condition. Well, that's where our boy Dennis Saplinkov comes in. One of the guys that is notorious for just blasting tren and GH until the cows come home. This is a guy that, according to the underground, was basically just absorbing all the growth hormone in sight. I've never heard of anyone in the pro bodybuilding scene going above like 18 IUs a day. I think I heard Leo in longevity say that he was running upwards of 30 units, which, for context, you're running 30 units of growth hormone a day. That could run you anywhere from like $75 plus per day or more. I think on the low end, you'd be looking at like $35 to $40 a day. On the high end, that could potentially run you like a couple $100 a day. Like, Jesus Christ, that's so much growth hormone. Like, I don't even know, like, unless you ran a Chinese raw manufacturer, I have no idea how you could afford it. But yeah, our boy Dennis basically left humanity behind and just decided to grow the fattest banana fingers that the arm wrestling scene has ever come across. So you guys know I'm currently taking about 3.5 IUs of growth hormone a night. And by the way, my fingers are swelling and getting a little bit bigger. In the next couple of weeks, I am probably going to have to stop wearing my wedding ring because it's getting really difficult to take on and off. But that's not enough for where we're going. If Tom really wants the craziest fists that he could ever have, 6 IUs isn't enough. I think our boy should be rocking at least 16 to 18 IUs a night. Obviously, you shouldn't do this. Tom shouldn't do this. But if we need cartoonishly large hands, then we're going to have to leave the world behind. And you know what pairs really well with insulin, or with growth hormone, and is also super dangerous? Let's throw some insulin in it. You know, we're already risking diabetes from the insulin resistance that we're getting from the 18 IUs a night of growth hormone. So we're going to throw in a boatload of insulin on top of it to increase our nutrient delivery so that we could really just ramp IGF-1 as far as humanly possible and get all of those nutrients for all of that collagen synthesis. And we're just going to speed run that acromegaly. So is there anything else we could do to just make this as cartoonish as possible? Well, if we're trying to ramp IGF-1, could we, like, get some medical grade IGF-1? And, like, theoretically, Increlex exists, but even the most famous guys that I have seen on the YouTubes cannot get a hold of Increlex. So you can't get it. I can't get it. I also don't want it. That's not really what I'm trying to do. But we're trying to create cartoonishly large, like, superhero hands, man. We're going to need some Increlex to throw on top of it. And you might reasonably say, but Adam, there's no reason we should be, like, taking off a couple decades just so that we could make our fists, like, 12 to 13 inches. And I would say to you, sorry, man. This is chemical warfare. This is unhinged. This is full clip. This is also parody. I cannot emphasize this enough. Please don't do this. But if for whatever reason you decided to have a deformed nose and brow and hands and feet, you could do this. And by the way, what have I been saying this entire time? Growth hormone is one of the only compounds that you could run as a woman that will not virilize you. So, yeah, hypothetically, Trad Princess, if you're out there and are just trying to full send this, just make this absolutely ridiculous transformation as you go on for Century Crack, which from the bottom of my heart, I'm cheering for you on. I want you to send that so bad. Yeah, this is the time. Let's get the most ridiculous hands possible. Fist stacking, hand stacking? Nah, man. I want to be able to foot jam that in the walk through Century Crack. That's really the move right now. I think that's what we need to do with just blasting all of the possible growth factors. And you know what? I'm not even done. Like, if we're full sending it, why not throw in some mitochondrial support to make this even more potent, you know? Let's throw some MOTS-C in there. Let's throw some SLUPP332 into there. God, is there any other, like, mitochondrial supporters that we could throw into this to make this more ridiculous? I don't know offhand. By the way, I pray to God anyone that would even for a split second consider this get like 9 cancer screenings, because any cancer in your body would proliferate almost instantaneously, and your tumor would probably grow even faster than your fingers. I cannot emphasize enough. This is for parody. This is dangerous. Don't do this. But the idea is still hysterical to me. Anyway, if you guys have stuck around this long for the memeing and the trolling of what you could hypothetically do if you threw caution and longevity to the wind and just wanted to have the biggest hands any crack climber has ever had, do not forget to hit the like and subscribe. I don't usually throw out this kind of nuclear information, but I can't imagine anyone having the time, the money, or the desire to do something so ridiculous when you could just buy extra crack gloves and go in that general direction. But if you enjoyed this trolling as it relates to getting the biggest hands possible to climb off with, then yeah, stick around. We've got more videos in the pipeline, way more discussions about pharmacology, way more discussions of what we can do to optimize our PED protocols for climbers. I'm Adam with Anabolic Climbing, giving you guys a front double on the way out, and wishing you guys cheers and happy ascending. Also, discounts on Anabolic Insights for blood work below, up to 70% off from your doctor's pricing. It's dope. Got my lab work submitted today. I'll let you know when it's done, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.